Hello.
Hi.
Not you. So do you find yourself discounting? Are you somebody that finds that you have resentment towards clients that you discount? Or do you want to just make more money overall? You're in luck, because that's what we're talking about today, discounts and how to get rid of them. I'm Todd, and I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen.
Hello.
Hello now, Jen. Welcome to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. So, discounting.
It's a big one.
This is a big topic, and we're going to try to keep it light. I'm not going to go on any rants today.
I make no promises.
Yeah, me neither, now that I said that. All right, so let's talk about discounting first.
This is about me.
Yeah, it's about everyone. So discounting is huge in the hair industry.
Yeah.
Massive. And it shouldn't be.
Agreed.
So we need
Now.
we need to sort of break this down. And let's start with why. Why are people discounting? Why are stylists and barbers giving their time away for free? In some circumstances, they're discounting people so heavily that it's actually for free.
Yeah.
They're working. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So why are people doing that? Fear?
I think there's so many things, and fear is absolutely one of them. The emotional
Like you don't want to lose your clients, right?
Yeah. Yes, you don't want to lose them if you're to raise your prices or if you're trying to put a price point across the board that makes sense. You also feel probably, depending on how long you've done it, like some sort of a relationship with them. So
yeah, I was going to say you feel connected to people in a way that you almost feel bad. It's emotional. It becomes emotional.
Yep, and I think it's
discount.
a hard conversation whenever you talk about money. So for a lot of people, I think it's
maybe
easier. I said I think, and yes, it is for
just
me.
Giving you a hard time.
Easier to ignore the conversation. So you're almost like, if you have a price increase, you're like, I'll just put it for the new people that come in. Everyone else can stay the same because then I'll have to talk about it.
That's a whole other
And then it
thing
becomes that now you're discounting your regular people because you're only raising.
So something that I remember from the gym industry is this thought of grandfathering people in.
Yeah.
And I never understood why we grandfathered. So in a recent episode, I don't even think it's out yet, we talk about inflation, cost of doing business, all that stuff. You can't grandfather in somebody into you can't grandfather or grandmother. I don't want to offend anybody. You can't grandparent somebody into a price.
Again, it's to avoid a conversation. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because I
did that my whole entire career. So.
Yeah. You did.
Until
you don't
now.
anymore.
No, I do not.
What are some other reasons people discount before we jump into how to fix this? Because I think we have a few ideas for fixing.
To try to help, for sure.
Friends and family, obviously, people want to discount friends and family. Your friends and your family should support. All right, put it this way. So if you're running a small business, like if you're the owner, your friends and family should want to support you. Mm-hmm. If they don't, get a new family and find some new friends. I don't know what to tell you. Start over. Yeah. Go back in time. Get reborn. So I forget where I was going there, but the friends and family thing I know is huge. If you're not if you're not a salon owner, your friends and family should still want to support you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
So just like running a small business is hard, it's challenging. Running your own chair, like I know some salons aren't like ours, most aren't, but we give like a lot of freedom. So our people are very driven and entrepreneurial. They have to be, or they're not going to make it. They're not going to survive in our structure. So they have to build themselves, and they need the support from friends and family. So they shouldn't be, discounting. We do some educational stuff. I just want to be like full disclosure on stuff, because if people are listening, like, wait, they discount. We discount. We have a discounted rate for education and for models because there's an expectation that we're making videos or taking photos or whatever, and we're not doing that with everyday regular clients. You might grab a photo or whatever, but we're not.
It's very different, and it's learning purposes, so we are in control. Like
exactly. Yep.
It's we could do a whole podcast on our education. So it's very different. And
we will. It's a great idea.
Because it's so different, there's a reason to discount it. It takes longer. There's more explaining to it. Like we want people to want to do it and trust the process. And that's just
that would be a
that
great topic. Because we have models that we use consistently because they understand the process. They know they're not coming in for a quick haircut.
Yeah, they're booked in for a long time, and they may have a video or a camera in their face or all kinds of stuff. They may have someone else, everyone's touching their hair, someone else is shampooing, someone might be trying a different blow dry technique, and they have to be open to all of those things. Right. It's not just me doing everything.
So if you're listening and you're interested in being a model and you're in our area, we're in Southern New Hampshire, reach out.
And it's a really great way to,
even though this is not supposed to be about
to discount but if you have clients that you know, maybe you raise your prices and they can't afford your new prices, I utilize education and things that I want to learn and I want to practice on those people because I like the relationship, and it's cool. Now the relationship goes both ways. They're also helping me.
Gotcha. So let's touch on discounting and how it's not fair. It should be pretty self-explanatory. It's
not, though. And it's wicked not fair.
No, it isn't. So
I never understood it. I can't say I didn't understand it. I just didn't open my mind to it. But it's not fair.
It's definitely not. And it comes in different forms. So you have that emotional discounting that we were talking about where I guess you're not sure if somebody can afford it or you want to keep the person or whatever. So you discount. And then you have something else that just slipped my head. It slipped out of my mind. I don't even know where I'm going right now. I'm just lost, floating through space. Yeah.
So there's
I'm off my game today. It's cool. We're still recording, whatever.
It's also, I think, you tend to discount if you feel a client is
I remember where I was going to go now.
What you're doing. Go ahead.
So what I was going to say is there's a different form of discounting that I see a lot of, and it's trying to get people through the door. Mm-hmm. So it's like new clients, 40% off. It's so not fair to your clients that pay full price.
And come to
just
you
my
often,
2 cents.
I agree.
So if you're listening and you're triggered and you're like, well, how else are you going to market? Well, we've got an expert coming on the show soon, so stay tuned. But you need to figure out how to get people in without giving your services away.
Yeah, like discounts for last minute appointments. If you already have one, you don't get the discount. I'm like, well, the person that's loyal is the one that booked ahead so that you have a foundation in your schedule of like clients. That's so not fair. It's just not.
We work with a software company that is, it's AI. So it's an artificial intelligence, and it combs our books and identifies last minute appointments. And when we were setting it up, I remember the rep saying, how much of a discount do you want to offer for these last minute appointments? And I was like, why would I give a discount? Because somebody forgot to book an appointment. Yeah,
we're just offering you so
I'm just reminding you
that we have appointments today, and then
you're generally in. We haven't seen you. Here's a text message. Mm-hmm. Not trying to lose.
That's foreign, though.
Money.
I feel for a lot of people, and also you drive discounts, and we did strategize with a company when we first opened with some type of coupons, and they weren't clients that ever stayed. They were just coupon hoppers?
Yes. When I had my gym, I worked with a company, and I forget the name of them. And what they did was they offered discounts to people all over the state. And then those people come in, and then the whole process was, or the thought process they had, this company was, we get people through the door. It's your job to keep them and then sign them up for your regular rate. It sounds cool in theory, except the next gym that runs a coupon, all the coupon chasers
are going there,
are going to that gym, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. So you have this sort of artificially inflated like month or two where your revenue increases, but it's not stable. It's not actual revenue. Like it is, the money came in,
right, but not long term.
But it's not anything that you can count on. Exactly.
I used to coach. We don't do discounts here at my last salon. A lot of times why we didn't do discounts because they would never understand it or couldn't wrap their mind around it. And I'm like, well, we want to build you a foundation that you can buy a house on or a car on. And if we have and nothing against people who use coupons. I do too at Shaw's and Hannaford's and all that too. But if it's just the people are coming in just because of that and they're never coming back, then we never know really how much you're building, and we can't look at your year as to what you can do with that money.
Right.
So that's...
So where are we going next?
I think a good one is the unfairness to the clients that when you give a discount to some clients and not to others behind the chair. Mm-hmm. So that was something that I did for a long time. I would raise my prices and I would judge who I thought I guess could afford it and who couldn't. And I don't know where I thought I wore the crown to decide that, because I don't fucking wear that crown. Like, each person decides what they want to spend their money on, but somehow I would do that, I guess. So I might raise my prices on 80% of my clients, but the ones that I thought maybe wouldn't like it, or more so would argue back or give me some sort of push, I'm like, I'll just leave them over there. I'll deal with that one later. And what ended up happening is 10 years later, those people are still at my prices where I started. And then majority of my clientele, 80% of them, are paying my real prices, and which became unfair in two ways. Me in the middle, but also to my clients that were loyal and kept paying it. And then why am I still discounting these other people that I need to just get them? I need to get everybody on board.
That's a really good point, is the fairness to the professional.
Yeah.
It's not fair. If you're giving out discounts, you're not only doing a disservice to your clients, because I don't know, it would bug me if I found out that somebody was paying a different price than me, even if it was more. Even if I was the one paying less, I would be like, wait, why do you think I need a discount?
Yeah.
Or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So then when I started...
But it's also
go ahead.
not fair. I'm going to, because I keep losing all day. I keep losing my train of thought, so I'm just going to roll right through. It's also not fair to you. Why should you work for less money?
Yeah. So do you know what I started doing?
What?
This is the worst possible case, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate right now. Those people that I didn't raise their prices, like, I'll just squeeze in 3 of them at one time because they're paying a less price. So I'm going to give them
triple buck,
basically
everybody.
A lesser service. Again, I'm not proud of it, but it's the world, it's the industry that I lived in at the time. And like, I just wouldn't give them the...
And it needs to change,
it
folks.
It does. Like, I didn't...
It's terrible.
Treat them at my new price. So instead I'm like, well, I'll just jump a few people and move them around, and you can get shampooed by so-and-so, and so-and-so can blow dry you, because I'm like, you're not paying my prices. But I never even offered them to pay them. I just made a decision for them, which was awful. So I'm salty in doing all that.
Well, you're salty, resentful, and it's not fair to the person because you didn't even give them the chance to say no.
No, I just decided. And looking back, it was like, what was I thinking? But I was so afraid to lose everybody, because somehow you think if you have a price increase or you have a playing field that's even, everyone's going to leave you. That will never fucking happen. Never. It just won't.
It might.
It's mathematically, it would be very difficult. It would be very difficult. And
like a client walkout?
Yeah, right?
Instead of like a stylist walkout?
And at the end of the day, when I finally got all of my prices all across the board, I didn't have to look at the history every time I was checking someone out, because I'm like, what did they pay last time? I don't really know.
That's insane.
It was insane. It was like a game. Like, I had to like remember all of these things. And
so Jen's last salon, real quick, was a la carte pricing, just like ours was when we first opened because of the pandemic. I hate that word. And when I came on board and when I came into the industry, it always confused me. In the barber world, I think people maybe not discount, but they have like an a la carte pricing, and things they don't like to do cost more. So like, people don't like to shave, so like, let's charge more for shaves and then hope no one gets it.
Right.
Just take it off your fucking menu.
Yeah, just don't do it. I didn't do that, so that's good.
Yeah. It's insane.
But my pricing was all over the place, and it didn't make any sense, and it was ridiculous, and it was exhausting trying to keep it all together. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I'm sitting here thinking in my head, like, if I had to go look up every single person that came in's history.
Yeah. I looked like a fucking Tasmanian devil between triple, quadruple.
That I don't know if that's
sextuplet. Is that a thing? Like, however many people I could get at a time, all different prices, all different things. Like, it was just...
I've seen the... I don't know if I've seen 4. I'm sure 4 people have overlapped before.
It's crazy.
You would commonly have 3 people.
Yeah.
Going on without an assistant.
Yeah, I never really utilized assistants. I didn't love it. I wanted to do it all. And interestingly enough, and I have had this conversation with clients, because now I no longer double book with my price increase, it's just I allot a whole block with each client that comes in, and they deserve that, and I love it, and it's wonderful.
Would you say it's fair?
And it's extremely fair. I don't have to question anything, and neither do they. Like, it's so clear cut. It's like really ridiculous, actually. But I had a moment to have to readjust myself and my
I was there.
emotional well-being of not being busy, and
right.
turn it into quality work. And I'm not saying if you do that it's not quality. I'm sure to your standards it is. But the work that I put out today, 63 years in, however you want to say it, is the best fucking work of my life. I'm the most proud of what I do, and the most proud of how fair it is across the board. And it's so clear cut that my price is my price, and this is where I sit, and I can recommend you to someone else if that works better for you. And it blows my mind with the support that I've had and the work that I can just do that's so much better because of no discounting and crafting out my time creatively.
So I think that stuff's all great. And I had here how to avoid discounting as my next sort of bullet, but why don't we just talk about our transition?
Sure.
And we can incorporate some of that stuff. But last summer, we made the decision to adjust our pricing structure. So we moved from an a la carte model, and the prices were all over the place for every person. We had basically like a tiered sort of level system. Mm-hmm. We didn't say that, but we had it.
Yeah, it's the way it's set up in
brackets,
the system.
Basically, yeah. And it never really made sense to me because anyways, we'll just keep going with it. So we made the decision to switch over to an hourly pricing structure. And I think, personally, it keeps things so clean. Mm-hmm. You don't have to even check what something would cost. You just need to know each person's hourly rate, which is right in the computer. They can find it.
And it makes it so that even if whatever your a la carte pricing is, it just takes it so everything has a purpose. So like your toner isn't arbitrarily $27. Like when we do our pricing and we put everything together, it all is included with what that hourly rate is. And it's still like on our menu is listed like partial foil, finish, glaze, all of those things. But there's a purpose to why those are priced a certain way.
Pricing is a whole other topic, and I think people need to start paying more attention. I know I say this all the time. I know people need to start paying more attention. Mm-hmm. Because I think people are looking at product. They don't know how to charge for it accurately. I
can tell you this right now. There are a lot of, like, you have someone doing a single process glaze finish, we'll say whatever it is. And if you don't know how to price that, you're probably losing money.
You're definitely losing money. Yeah. Most salons, or the average salon profit's 8%. Mm-hmm. That's not a thing.
And it's like, that color's so expensive. It's like, it's not expensive enough.
You just haven't priced it correctly.
I know that because we use a color management system, and I'm like, wow, that's insane. I didn't know.
So let's carry on with our transition. Mm-hmm. So it was last summer we made the decision to transition. What's the first step? What did we do? We had conversations with our staff.
Mm-hmm. We worked through the pricing of where they wanted to be and what they needed to do.
What else?
And then we started laying out what that looked like with the services we offer. Mm-hmm. So people could understand that and wrap their mind around it. So what's really important...
Definitely wasn't an easy transition.
Fuck no.
It took work.
A lot.
I'm trying to think of some of the things. One of the things we did was some role playing with the staff.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think with any change you make, especially with taking out discounts and that on that topic, is you have to lay out what your pricing structure is, which is what we did, and how we're going to get rid of all those discounts and be strict within it. But then when you're ready to lay it out or roll it out, that you're all on board on the same page and you're all ready to have that conversation. If you're not ready, don't do it yet, because you're going to still discount someone else and be like, well, that's just one person. I was doing it for 10 before. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree. So you definitely have to do it across the board. Otherwise, you're still discounting. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck is the point?
Right. And you'll have the clients that either have to process it and ask questions. And
this is not one of those baby step things, because I'm a big fan of like, you make one change.
Yeah, no,
and
this is, and you have to be ready.
The change is the change.
And then you have to be coached on how to deal with when the clients ask questions. So for me, like someone might be like, so whatever they asked. And I'm like, oh, they're mad at me or whatever. And Todd's like, they're just asking to process a whole new thing that you're throwing at them, that you've discounted them for 20 years. And why are you not now? And like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, you just have to be ready for all of those things. You have support, you have the questions.
You have to get good at having conversations.
Yeah.
You have
and
to get
stop
good
running
at
away
having
from
conversations. Yeah. And I'm not saying that your conversations are going to be easy, because some of them are not. But the ones I think you're going to be surprised. The people that you assume are going to support you might not.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
The 20 plus year clients who you're like, this person followed me across the state.
Yep.
Right? They're pissed. Mm-hmm. The people that you thought were going to say, that's too much, or who do you think you are your cheerleaders sometimes. It's insane.
Yeah, it was really
So
crazy.
what's going, my point there is what's going on in your head is not reality.
Yeah.
And that's just how our brains work. And that's okay. You're not going to be able to not have those thoughts. Have the thoughts. Take yourself a pause. Mm-hmm. I'm a big pause guy.
Pauses are huge.
And then have the conversation.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's a difficult conversation. Talking about money, yeah, I joked about it in the beginning, but yeah, it's not always the easiest thing.
The biggest thing is to not judge. You have no idea what people make or do not make, and don't say by the car they drive or the bag they're carrying.
You cannot
because you don't
project.
know. Yeah, it's just if you're in a place now where you're ready to make your prices fair across the board and stop discounting, so you're all over the place. You really, for me, it was just being like, I want to be fair to everybody that wants to sit in my chair, and I want the prices to be fair for all of them. And I felt good about that, like at that point. And that was what resonated with me. Like, I am going to start being fair to everybody. My loyal clients, I'm fair to you for the prices. My new clients, you're paying that. Like, and it's just across the board. And it is what it is.
I think I might have told the gym story before too. I worked at a gym for someone else, and they told me to go wait by the front door. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, cool. And since I think I already told this, I'll just be quick with it. But I was like, what a great idea. The person is probably going to be nervous. And the owner of the place said, I don't give a shit if they're nervous. Try to spot what car they pull in the parking lot. If they pull in, they're whipping a BMW, charge them, $95 an hour. Mm-hmm. If they pull in a minivan, be ready to give them, I think it was $35. And I'm like, that's insane, first of all. So I quit right after that. Soon after that conversation, I quit.
It's also, you're just judging people left and right.
And also, I know plenty of people with BMWs that can't afford them.
Yeah. You have no idea.
And the person in the minivan or station wagon or whatever the example is.
Could have $1 bazillion dollars.
Yeah.
It's just
They might just have that car.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can tell that.
I owned a salon, and I had a similar situation with someone that I might have owned it with.
So, I'm not saying anything.
Don't.
Live on the air. Where are we going next?
I hope some of you were laughing on that one. All right. So what, I guess, we put in a system with our hourly pricing because it really was clear cut. It made sense. And it really took out, from an owner perspective, all the questions that my staff would come in and how do I charge for this? How do I charge for that? And everybody was all over the place, and it made it clear cut across the board. So my life became way more simple from an owner standpoint. And then from a staff standpoint, their life became more simple because they knew exactly how to do it. There was no more question involved. Everybody's going to have a different scenario of what taking out the
discounts
are.
That's your pricing structure.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with discounting? I'm lost. I've been lost all day. I just want to point that out.
We were saying how to
just been one of those days
implement the next thing. So if you have, for us,
gotcha.
taking out discounts meant putting in a clear
I'm sitting
pricing
here
structure.
What is she talking about?
Who knows? I'm tired anyway. But also, so if somebody is ready to take out their discounts, what's their next step, right? Besides just, just take out your discounts.
Let's work through that. So somebody listening right now is like, I want to take out discounts. I know I shouldn't do them. I want to make more money. I know it's not fair. Jen, Todd, someone fucking walk me through it.
Right.
Where do we start? I think I think what you were saying now that I'm
have
with
to
the
look at
conversation.
your pricing
So
structure.
you have to look at your pricing structure, and it's got to be, you have to clean it up. Even if you charge a la carte, you have to take the time.
Like, what do those services cost you? Like,
Yes.
all
What
of
do you
that
need
stuff.
to make
Yeah.
off of them? What is the markup? What are your
Because
margins
that
on
might need
each
to get
service?
fixed first.
Yes, correct.
Then you're doing it all in one. Like, you're going to fix your pricing so
Gotcha.
that you're not losing on anything without a discount. Then you're removing the discount, and then you work on your conversation you're going to have with every single person, whether it's uncomfortable and whether you get the cheerleader versus the not. You're going to keep pushing through.
So how do you recommend somebody does that? So I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, this person's not going to like this. This
Yeah, you gotta
person's
stop
going to
doing
be
that.
my cheerleader. So
That's where, for me, I just focused on, I'm doing this to be fair to every single person that supports me and sits in my chair. And that's what I would say to myself.
So you need to really buy in yourself.
Yeah, I actually, I have a small circle in my life.
I'm not confused, by the way, for people listening. I'm just trying to prompt conversation here.
It's great. My small circle that I know will be honest with me, which is my 2 people. And I had conversation with them, like, what do you think about this? This is what I'm doing. Like, and automatically they were just like, I love this for this. And, just worked through some of my wording and let me kind of role play with them, like how to say it. And then I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to be fair to everybody that wants to sit in my chair.
And is that what you said? You sort of said, I just want to be fair to everybody?
Yeah. It
Cool.
started with that. And I was exhausted. Like, I needed to stop double booking, and I needed to stop trying to look at people's history for how much they were paying. So, like, there was just so many things that
too
needed
many moving parts.
clear out of my head so that I could make room to run a better business. That was part of it for me. I wanted to be more available for my staff. I wanted to be more present in the business. And at that point, I feel like there was a cloud of smoke around me every other second. So to not discount and a clear pricing structure that allowed me to stop double booking was the win-win for me.
So step 1 is to take a look at your pricing structure.
Yeah.
Decide what you're doing there. You charge hourly, fine. You charge a la carte, fine. You charge whatever,
Just have a
fine.
system that works.
Have one and stick to it. And it's one system across the board for everybody. It's everybody that works at your salon. If you're not an owner, it should be still fair across the board.
Yeah.
Everyone should be charging whatever they're charging, and then it's consistent. So that's step 1. Step 2 is then to practice having some conversations.
Yeah, you have to role play.
Get some easy wins.
Yep.
Is that where you're?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might strategically pick that out because you might need that day.
For sure.
Yep.
Then what's step 3? You just roll it out.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
trying to think back to how we did ours.
So if
and-
you use marketing, you can send out an email and then you can be ready for the people coming in. You can start by telling the people as they reschedule, hey, next time you're in, this is where we're at. Then they have time between that appointment and the next to figure out if they have a question on anything, whatever.
So for a stylist that's raising their prices, say, and by raising the prices, it could be you're actually raising your prices or you're raising it because you were doing discounts and now
Right.
you're
You're
not.
coming on to like a normal field.
What does that conversation look like?
So
You're talking, so you're a stylist that just got a promotion, we'll say,
Yep.
or you're removing discounts. You have a client that you've been discounting for 3 years.
first, please don't apologize. Please do not apologize. Do not talk down to me. Don't, if I'm your client, like don't just, hey, Sally, so I guess if it's you're removing discounts, like I'm working on getting my pricing across the board the same. So the next time you're in for your single process haircut blow dry, it's going to be this.
Gotcha.
And I mean,
Simple as that. I love it.
yeah, I think the point of that is, and I coach this often, is clear, short, simple, and shut the fuck up. Literally stop talking. Bite your tongue.
That's a big one.
Bite your tongue until it bleeds if you have to, because there's those people that want to keep like
Disclaimer,
trying.
do not sue us
Don't
if you
actually
bite
do
your
that.
tongue.
But like
until
you
it
want to
bleeds.
keep talking because now like if they haven't said anything or they didn't make the face you thought, and now you're like, well I'm gonna raise them because like this is what I have to do, and like I have my mortgage to pay, and the prices went up. Like no one needs to hear any of
The
that.
prices
Now-
of gloves.
Yeah, now you're all over the place. So the point
your
is,
gloves.
hey Sally, I'm making my prices fair across the board. Next time you're for your single process haircut blow dry, it's going to be this, and then stop talking. Did you want to go 6 weeks or did you want to go 7? I'll see you then. Like,
Right.
That's it. Our staff's probably laughing right now because it's literally, I would have to like tap them on the shoulder. Stop talking.
Stop fucking talking.
Yeah. And we don't,
It gets
it's not on
difficult
purpose.
because you're no. It's not.
No, it's your emotions
Our
coming
staff-
through. You're
our staff's
reacting.
definitely laughing.
Yeah, and it's really normal. I've been there. I get it. It's just the simpler the more concise, and then just let it go. Let them do them.
Because you're dealing with people people are intelligent.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, they're able to make their own decisions. They're at a point in their life where they picked you to do their hair. They can make a decision whether they want to continue having you do their hair or not.
The best support comes as either they're
and
like,
you can't change that. We should
correct.
touch on that after.
Yeah. So the best support for me, and we own the salon, and we support our staff so much. So for me, the win always came if
Go us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If the price point where I'm going is too high, then my win is that they're like, okay, Jen, this isn't going to work for me. Who would you suggest I see here? That's my win. So whether if you don't own your salon, but you're in a team environment, I would hope you want to support your teammates. So like when you get a promotion and maybe a few of your clients fall off, because mathematically that's very normal and okay and makes room for all your new clients, then hopefully you can suggest them to a teammate and help build them, and you keep them in the salon. You still get to see them and say hello. And it's just the magic and the beauty of how a true team should work.
If your salon has a culture that allows that.
Yes.
A lot of salons talk about culture, but it's more of the competitiveness.
Ours does, but it's really important to both of us.
I feel like it's backwards.
It's extremely important to me. I need that to thrive and be happy going to work.
And when we talk about this stuff, just for people listening that might think, well, it's easy to say that or whatever. Like, no, we do this. We did this.
We walk the walk.
We have, you've had a bunch of people that have gone to other stylists in our salon.
I went and hugged one the other day and she's like, you're going to get color all over you. And I was like, but I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And it's totally fine because
I just want to still see their face.
Yeah, you're still taking care of the person. And so if you're a stylist or a barber out there listening and you don't own the shop where you work, that's fine. But if you are an owner, it's an opportunity to still look after somebody, to still care. And in our space, it's collaborative. So it's not that Jen is going over and doing someone's hair, but the staff has access to all your formulas. Mm-hmm. There's no secrets.
Right.
You might give them tips on, hey, just so you know, this person's hair does this when I cut it, so I have to account for this or whatever, right? So there's a lot of that goes on, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Too. Just wanted to point that out. Go us. Thanks. Go us.
Yeah.
What else? What was I saying about?
I know. I was just trying to think about that. I don't have my notebook today either. I'm not on point either.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I think you've got the strategy of your pricing needs to get.
Oh, the steps. Yeah.
Yeah, like on point. Then how are you going to lay it out so it's fair, and then have your conversations. And then I know you had one more point, but I can't remember what it was. Go me.
I wasn't going to talk about the steps. I had some points outside of that. But so, yeah, I think for me, I would say that the number one thing you need to do if you're eliminating discounts is have a plan.
Yeah.
And try to have a plan for every aspect of it. And that's why we start with looking at your current pricing structure and figuring out why everything is the way it is. Because you might have to adjust some stuff. You might have to raise a price on a service. If you're a la carte, you might have to raise a price on a service and get rid of discounts. So figure that out first, because the last thing you want to do is, and there's nothing wrong with raising your prices and then raising your prices again. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think people should raise their prices more frequently.
Yeah, that's a baby step that might have to happen to get you where you need to be if it's too much of a jump.
The last thing I want people to do, though, is to be like, all right, I'm getting rid of discounts, and you get rid of discounts and you're still losing money because you're that messed up in your pricing. And I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about affordability. Mm-hmm. Anybody listening, you do not owe anybody affordability. So your time is your most valuable resource. Mm-hmm. Whether you charge hourly or per service, I don't care. Podcast is not about that. It's your time going into performing the service, and that's what you're getting paid for either way.
Mm-hmm. The one thing we all get is the same amount of time in a day. Doesn't matter if you're a bazillionaire or not.
Unless it's your first or last day. I said that recently too.
24 hours. So treat them wisely.
So, agreed. I think I don't think, why do I keep saying that?
It's okay.
Son of a. So a lot of people in this industry are standing around screaming, let's be professionals. When are people going to treat us like professionals? Why do clients not take us seriously? Why do people ask what my real job is? All these things. Yeah. It's us. Mm-hmm. Starts with us.
Starts with running.
You have to run your
like
business.
A business.
Yes, you have to run your chair as a business. You have to run yourself as a business. Mm-hmm. You have to run.
And if you haven't been,
if you're the owner, you have to run your business as a business. Yeah. It's just the way it is.
You have to start taking those steps. Easy or not, it's important. And then you'll be taken as a professional.
Yeah, I don't know many other industries. Again, we could do a whole podcast on how to help, because I know people are like, well, what if all my people fall off? Or what if people can't afford it?
So here's where I would say too.
That's not your responsibility.
Right. And reach out to Todd or I, like book a coaching call with us, because sometimes you just need a little extra to give you the confidence boost, or like the, I mean, I can always be your cheerleader because it's fun for me and I want everyone to be successful, but that little bit to just lay out a plan and like, okay, this makes sense. And just somebody to like say you're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. I can say you're doing a good job. I can cheerlead to a point. If you need somebody that's going to just tell you how it is and what I see and how it could be improved, that's like
that's why we're a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can give you a hug.
You can.
But yeah, most likely, if you're independent, you probably need a coach to help you. If you're a salon owner and you are like, I really want to do this, like you're going to need a coach to help you, or someone to help like just get you on the right path. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, hopefully that helps. We have anything else?
No, just
don't discount.
Yeah.
It really is better.
Yeah, start turning your stuff around. It's really important, and you'll be much happier once you get through it.
You know what? Before we wrap up, and I was just about to hit the button, but before we wrap up, I would like to touch on your attitude. I think it's a really, really, so when we made the decision to switch our pricing structure, eliminate discounts, and charge fair across the board, we were unapologetic and positive. Mm-hmm. So if someone said, I don't like this, we said, great. So I can't control how you feel. Mm-hmm. I can't control what you think. I can only control what I feel and what I think and my actions. We made the decision to make this major change in our business and never looked back. We didn't question anything, and we weren't negative. We lost some clients. Mm-hmm. We lost staff.
Yeah.
And I just wish everyone the best. There's no hard feelings. But I wasn't going to change. I wasn't going to let it get me down, and I wasn't going to get negative.
No, our course stayed the same.
I wasn't going to let people's negativity creep in.
Right. Well, we focused on the people that believed in what we were doing. We're excited about the changes.
Gotta find your people. Find your people.
And we're like, this is the team I want to be on, and are thriving currently, like more than I think they ever believed they could, which was cool. For
sure. So I just wanted to point that out before we wrap. Your mindset is huge.
It's really a big deal.
Excuse me. So get everything situated. Get your pricing structure looked at. Get your pricing situated. Make your decisions on how you're going to reach out to your clients.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an email. So we sent out, I believe, emails. We wrote a blog post. We posted that. We posted on social media. And then we had conversations in person with people. Mm-hmm. So write that stuff out. Have a game plan.
And then focus on all the positives
and then
that
just
came in.
Crush it, because you're going to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be cheesy, but if you are positive and you're doing things to be fair and you're doing what you believe is right for yourself, protect yourself first, and what's fair for your clients, I don't see how people can criticize that.
Agreed.
They're going to.
But you stand behind it because you're
but it doesn't matter to you. Yeah,
this is my direction.
That's for them to deal with.
Yeah. Shout out to anyone that's watching the video, to Gabby who did my hair today, and it looks really nice.
Nice job, Gabby.
Thanks,
she
Gabs.
did. I was there talking to you.
Yeah.
That's how off I am today.
Gotta
Anything
give my
else?
shout-outs.
I think we're good.
No.
All right, folks.
Peace out.
If you need help with that, hit us up. And if you liked that video or podcast, whatever you're watching or listening on, check out another one. I'm going to point randomly. Maybe we'll put a link here or here. If you're on YouTube, there will be a link.
Over there?
I can put it in the middle.
Yeah.
So we'll check out that video too. Or check out another podcast. I don't know. That was the wrong button. It's like a Happy New Year. Not even going to try to edit that. That's all I got today.
Happy birthday.
TGIF. It's Friday here. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.